Hello, and happy day to everyone. Welcome to the Fear to Freedom Project. This is a very special day today because I have with me Dr. Futrell, NaRicia Futrell, also known as your favorite slightly hood therapist. Yay! I love that. I am so glad you're here. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I mean, I just cannot wait to ask you some questions because let me read your bio first so that we all
Okay.
know who you are and all of your superpowers. Today on the show, we are so honored to have Dr. NaRicia Futrell, affectionately known as Yo Favorite Slightly Hood Therapist. Raised in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. Futrell is a proud graduate of Melrose High School and holds advanced degrees in applied psychology, social work, and a doctorate in psychology. Licensed across 4 states, she's certified substance abuse progression therapist and a trauma conscious yoga instructor. I want to hear about that. Dr. Trail is the creator of Namaste and Therapy, a monthly event for women that combines yoga with a therapeutic community sharing. She is also the author of Red Flag Diaries. Ladies, guys, you got to get this, but ladies, you got to get this. You got to pick this one up, okay?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes, got to get this one. It's a self help book that explores attachment styles, intimacy, and real life stories of people navigating difficult situations. Beyond her professional accomplishments, she is a dedicated wife, mother, and a pet lover. You a furry mommy? Are you a furry mommy?
I am.
Okay, good. All right. Well, welcome to the show, sister. I'm so
Yes,
glad.
thank you. And my doctorate is in social work, not psychology.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, okay. Yay. We are
Yes.
twins here.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think we got our doctorates the same time, 2013, same
Yep.
year.
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, I am glad you are here. And I just want to know what makes you your favorite slightly hood therapist.
Well, like I explained to somebody before,
Mhm.
I can do some of the hood stuff y'all doing, but I'm not gonna do everything. So we just slightly hood. You come to therapy, you can be exactly who you are, show up the way you are, speak the way you are. When I'm out and I'm not a therapist, I don't have my therapist hat on. I'm gonna have me a good time, but I ain't
Mhm.
gonna do all the hood stuff, everything. So that's where that goes. That's what that comes from.
Well, and that's good, but it also allows people to connect.
Yes,
And sometimes people come to our in a therapeutic experience or to our attention having all of these self-doubts and all of these issues with themselves and comparison. And so, I'm just glad that you are saying, "Hey, I'm starting where you are." But that's the beauty about being a social worker. We
yeah.
are we know how to start where people are,
Yeah, you
right?
you have to meet people where they are. Otherwise, you don't have that trust in order to help them go where they're trying to get to. Mhm.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about yoga and therapy. And this is so important, Dr. Futrell, because I just started
Ah,
yoga. When I was in Panama, one of my friends, now one of my brothers, he and his wife taught, me some poses and really how to breathe. But when I came back to the States, I went to a yoga class and I was really, really uncomfortable. I was a little afraid because I'm like, I've only done it one time in my 20s. And I went there and I was immediately comparing myself because I'm like, golly, maybe I can't do it. But I stayed. I ended up staying. And Dr. Futrell, that was last year. My balance, is so much better. My body, the way it makes me feel, I don't miss it. I'm pretty much in yoga like 3 days a week, and
Yeah.
I can do it now on my own. So, what makes that so important? How did you merge that? How did they marry? How are you like putting that together, therapy and yoga? I appreciate
Well,
the
so
combo.
I'll share with you my initial journey into yoga. Um, in 2016, I was not in the best situation. Financially, I was good. I was
Mm-hmm.
I'm making pretty decent money, not spending it either, just making it, you know.
Yes.
But my personal life was not in a good space. And exercise had always been an outlet for me.
Mm.
So one day I was going to the gym and I was supposed to be going to a hit class. I was like, I need hard stuff to get all of this anxiety out of me, right? And I get there, and you know how sometimes a class is canceled and they supposed to notify you and they don't.
Yeah, Lord.
So I got there and my class was canceled. So I'm sitting there in this room, and there's this lady sitting there with her, her legs crossed. She's crossed. She's in comfortable seat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so what's happening? I got an attitude. Why we not, you know,
Yeah, why we not having the class?
yeah, class is canceled and we're gonna do yoga. And I stayed.
Oh,
And I haven't
wow.
stopped since. Then the pandemic hit, and I downloaded this app to do guided meditation and yoga on my own. And I started doing it, got myself out of that situation that I was in, and I just continued to do it. But I noticed that a lot of things, as I actually worked with that teacher who talked more about not just the poses or the asanas, but the importance of pranayama and how it is helpful for the body, and using those natural skills for healing. I was
Mhm,
like, this is very, very much akin to somatic skills and therapy.
mhm, mhm,
And I started researching, like, what the connection is. And I had already started this monthly event that I was doing for women, and I
mhm,
found the Trauma Conscious Yoga Institute.
mm,
So I contacted them and I was like, "Hey, I need to do this certification with you." And it was amazing. I went to Texas, stayed for 3 or 4 days,
mhm.
did the trauma conscious yoga experience, got my certification. I was like, "I got to get this to everybody, but
Yeah.
definitely women. I got to give this to Black women." So that's that.
Oh my God. So you was on your way to hit and ended up in yoga.
Yep.
I love that.
I
That
ain't
is
been
such
I ain't been back to hits.
a but girl, look, because watch you doing yoga. I don't do those poses. My yoga is very restorative. It's very yin and yang. I'm like, you are standing on heads, or you're doing those poses. You are so good. And
You. Thank
you
you.
didn't know how to do that when you went to yoga?
No, ma'am. And when I first started working on headstands, like the amount of times I fell and bust my behind, but I learned to fall first. And then, trusting your body to fall in a way where you don't hurt yourself. And then you learn those other things, and you learn it's not about the actual poses, but what your body feels like when you're moving, and when
Mm.
your body feels like when you're sitting still. And that's what got me where I needed to be. And now I trust myself. I'm like, yeah, I can get up on my head, because if I fall, I know how to fall.
Yes, you look so good up there. And
You.
I'm glad that you talk about trusting yourself and trusting your body. I did not. I learned in yoga how to trust my body and how to know that energy is in my body and how it shifts and moves. And I just love my yoga teacher, my instructor. She is just very, it's like she knows what practice we need when we go in there. She always says it's a practice.
Yeah,
So yes, so you don't have to, like, okay, do what your body needs, honor your body, always breathing.
yeah.
I just love yoga and I really love watching you. I'm like, I don't even know. I really did not expect you to say you were going to hit and then you went to yoga and that. You just look like you've been doing that for decades,
No,
honestly.
no. I started then, and it's been the best thing. Um, and I actually, I well, you don't know. When I was doing hit, I actually injured myself.
Mm.
I jumped up and we were doing burpees. Burpees are the devil, first of
Your burpees are straight the devil. I
all.
am with you.
I jumped up and I had a pain. It shot up my back and down my leg, and I ended up eventually going to a doctor. And so I have sciatica.
Oh.
It hasn't gone away, but the pain is like very non-existent. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm consistent in my yoga practice, I
Mm-hmm.
know what poses I need to do. I have to keep my core tight. That takes the pressure off of my back. So yeah, the trauma
Yes.
is I could talk all day about how beneficial yoga is for trauma because
Well, I would like for you to at least mention that because, yeah, I do. I would like for you. How is that impactful? How does that help? Because I didn't put well, I mean, if you think about it, I have had some traumas and it is helping, but share your practice and how you marry that.
well, so when you think about what trauma does to your body, think about how your body gets hijacked, right? So, if I experience a traumatic experience, first my brain is going to send out these alert signals, and those alert signals go to my body, and my body responds with either fight, flight, or freeze. And then I may have a behavioral response of fawning, but the body is literally in emergency mode because your brain has said we are in emergency mode. When you learn somatic skills or yoga, then you learn that you must manage your body first, and then that allows you to have the space to have those cognitive interventions for you to be able to tell your body, hey, this is not fear that I need to be feeling. This is excitement. So it's okay. Your body responds the same way, whether it's fear or excitement. It's an increased heart rate. It's um, muscle tension. It is increase in your pulse. Your brain is what tells your body the difference between fear and excitement. And in yoga, you learn to manage your body. You learn to manage those muscles. You learn to manage your breathing in order to slow down your pulse rate and slow down your heart rate. So um, you know that's just that connection there of healing through with trauma through yoga, being able to really understand your body and trust your body more, instead of you not trusting your body anymore because it's always in emergency mode.
I really, really appreciate that. We were just talking about this. I made a comment about just being able to distinguish between being excited and anxious.
Mm-hmm,
And I tell you that is very important. And
mm-hmm,
because of yoga, what you're saying is true. And people, family, you guys need to listen. You got to listen. And I started yoga not knowing, of course, you got to see Dr. Futrell. All of her information will be in the show notes. But she started somewhere and I started somewhere, but it really is beneficial to the body. It
yeah,
is. And
yeah,
all of the trauma that we hold in our body, I didn't know that energy is in there. We have to release it somehow. And
yeah.
so this has been very helpful to me. You know what I wanted to ask you? I have to ask you this. Like, okay, so I watch your reels and they are funny. Okay. But are those real situations? Please don't tell me those are real situations.
Sometimes there are combinations of situations. A lot of times, I am very much what is it? The imitation of art, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's other people's stuff because people put everything on social media, and I'm like, that sounds similar to this situation. And let me just, and because I
Yes.
use other people's sounds, I very rarely use my own voice unless I'm doing a speaking thing. But yeah, sometimes they don't have anything to do with anything, and my clients will be like, so you just gonna make a video about me, ma'am? That was not about you.
No, you didn't just walk into this. I wasn't even thinking about you.
This didn't have anything to do with you, but do you have something to tell me?
Yes. That is so funny because I'm like, geez, and I mean, they could be, but I was like, I cannot wait to ask her, are these real situations? Because, as a social worker, practicing any human behavior and with people, they're going to be funny situations and situations that are different and unique. And so, yeah, those are some pretty unique situations. They're funny too. I love it.
I love
Okay.
doing it. I be laughing myself sometimes making those videos. Like, this is silly.
Yes, it's so funny. Well, I want to get into the Red Flags Diary, author of Red Flags Diary. Let me see. You got it here. All right. I got this on Amazon. So I
Also,
want you
also available on what is the
Barnes
other
and
one? Barnes
Noble.
and Noble. Yeah.
Also available on Barnes and Noble. There's going to be a link in the show notes. And listen, by the way, welcome. If you are new to this channel, this is the Fear to Freedom Project. And welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Leave some comments. Let us know if what we're saying is impactful to you. Does it resonate with you? And if you are a returning champion, thank you so much. I love you. Peace and love to the family. So we want to talk about the Red Flag Diaries. These are true story accounts and then some. That's what it says.
Mhm.
True story accounts and then some.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about my favorite chapter after we get into a little bit like, what do you want people to really know about this book? How can this book help? Um,
I want people to know that this book has self-helpy stuff in it, but is not completely a dry self-help book. I realize that the format is very unconventional than what most people are expecting from a book, but I wanted it to be that way because I wanted to give information that is helpful, but I also wanted to give information that people want to read. So it's about real people and the experiences that we've had in red flag situations. And that's in intimate partner relationships, in relationships with family members, in relationships with coworkers. And then the very end is very much about what do you do for yourself and how to strengthen those five facets of intimacy for yourself before and or while you're strengthening those facets with another individual. And I say and or while because we just have to be honest. Nobody's going to be out here breaking up with people and being off on your own to go on your journey to heal yourself before you get in a relationship. You may be in a situation where I'm in a relationship now and I want to continue working on my own healing and peace, but I also still want to remain in my relationship. So that's what I want people to know about self red flag diaries.
well, I think that's beautiful. And I want people to know that this is a guide for you to understand what those red flags are because there are red flags. I have red flags in relationships. Sometimes we just ignore those red flags.
We be
Okay.
trying to make them green.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we are really, really into trying to change colors, girl, because that is the it
Yes.
is. It's the truth. We don't want to see that. But my favorite part of the book, and this is what I want to say to everyone. This is a book that's going to help you understand if you see, these things in your partner, in your relationships, like she said, at work, your supervisor. I mean, trust me, we've worked with people that have these different types of personalities and different traits. And so it's good to like understand who it is, what they are, how they are behaving, and how you can behave. We're not going to change the world. It's just the way your perspective about it is, how
Right.
you deal with the world, right? And
Right.
so my favorite part, Doc, is chapter 9. It is just chapter 9, self-care and identity. It's really taking care of your own self, your own needs, and getting out of your way, going with the flow, but it just self-care, self-care, self-love. If I can preach that so much, I
Yeah.
believe that self-love is the greatest love of all. And if you are not loving yourself, you are not loving God. I'm just saying that consciousness source who created you, your creator. If you don't love you, you're not loving you don't love God. You don't love God. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my favorite part. I just wanted you to know that because I'm on I I'm about self-healing. I mean, I'm doing it myself. We all are growing. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, whatever tools and resources that we can have to help us along in this human experience, I think that is important. So, how
yeah.
do you think yoga and therapy will add to the broader conversation about mental health and how we treat mental health?
I really, have found myself feeling like it's difficult to separate it at all. You
Mhm.
know, therapy is all about learning how to manage your life in a way that you can thrive and not just survive. And so, I want people when they come into therapy, I always, ask them, well, what are your goals? And then I tell them that one of the goals that I would like for them to have is that you learn that this is a healing journey and it never ends because we're forever changing. And that's the same thing that you kind of learn with your body in yoga. If you're in a space where you're practicing certain asanas, they tell you that yoga is a practice because it's ongoing. You never learn an asana or a pose and then that's it. The next thing you do is, okay, this feels good, so I want to continue to do this, and then maybe I move into another variation of this. And that's what life is like. If you go into therapy and you're in your 20s, your goals theoretically are going to be different than what your goals are when you're 30, and then when you're 40, and then when you're 42. So there's always that growth and that healing journey, that strength journey, that self-care journey, and both of those things encompass that, yoga and therapy.
I really appreciate you, Dr. Futrell. I really do. This is just, it is. It touches my heart because, I mean, even at 50, I'm going to be 58 in a few weeks. And
What?
yes, and I am
It's
telling you,
time valid.
yes, 58. And I am on this, just, it's all about self. It is really all about self. This is my personal journey. I have a soul and it came to earth for a purpose. And so, yeah, and so it's really about me, and I am happy to be discovering me, and who I am, what makes me tick, how do I feel moving this way in that pose, and all of
Yeah,
those things. I
yeah,
really do, and I really appreciate the platform that you have created, this space that you have created, and I love the fact that you're a social worker.
of course.
Yes, it could be anything else. Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how have women responded to um non-traditional way of healing?
It's been great. It really has. In the therapy environment and in Namaste in therapy. I always hear, particularly in Namaste in therapy, the women always say at the end of a session, that just walking into the room, into the studio, felt really good. Um,
Mm,
and before we start anything, I always say to them that this process over the next 2 hours is about you. It's not about me. It's not about the woman next to you on the mat. This is about you and your body and what feels good, and learning distress tolerance and learning to create safe space for yourself. That
mhm.
way, you know how to create it for someone else. So if you're not judging yourself, then you don't have to worry about judging somebody else, and vice versa.
Yes.
So that's just how it is. And in therapy is the same way. Like, um I'm very excited though that I've had a lot of black men coming into therapy this year.
Oh,
And
good.
yes, I
Black
love it.
men, we are clapping for you
I
because
love
we
it.
already know what your history says and your
Yes,
legacy said, and that false belief of you can't go to therapy.
they are breaking our counter barriers. So the
Yes.
men and the women, they tell me, that it feels good to be in my therapeutic space. I can be what I need to be. I can say what I need to say. I can be vulnerable in here. I can leave what I need to leave and pick up what I'm not ready for, because sometimes, I may want something for them that they're not ready to
Yeah.
do yet. But we
Yeah.
just laid the foundation, and that's just what it is, creating a safe space. Once people feel safe, they feel like they can do whatever it is they want to do.
Once they feel safe, then they can create safe spaces. I mean, we are here for, the collective,
Mm-hmm.
for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not here just for ourselves. I always like to stress that and talk about that. At least that's why I'm here. I mean, actually, you can be here for whatever you're here for, but I am
Yeah.
here for the collective. And I believe that if we can do, if it's good for me, it's good for everyone else. That makes me feel good. All of us have a right to be healthy and healed and love ourselves and get rid of those limiting beliefs that are holding us back.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a right to that. So, and it's because of beautiful people like you that are
Thank you.
creating spaces for women to heal and men to heal. And I love that. What challenges are you facing? Are there any challenges that, I know people come to therapy. I would like to think that people are coming to therapy on their own fruition,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
cool. But are you facing any challenges with people saying, they're coming in there and they're coming in there with a lot of barriers? They don't even believe that it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, two populations that I work with, I face that still, even in private practice. So I am a SAP provider. I'm a substance abuse professional. And
Mhm.
so what that means is I get referrals from the federal government through the clearinghouse for drivers who have
Mhm.
had some type of substance abuse related issue, and they're at risk of losing their license. And if you've ever worked with people who are struggling with addiction, it can be difficult
Mhm.
because ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't got no problem, especially if it's alcohol and weed. It's so
Yes.
because it's legal and here and you can get it from the earth and blah blah. You cannot drive under the influence. It doesn't matter where it's legal at. So that population sometimes can be challenging, but I never
Mhm.
shied away from it. I've worked with addiction for several years. You just again you meet people where they are. Like, all right, boom, this is where you are though. You might like to indulge. However, this is going to create an issue for you in your life, in your finances, in your vocation. So what are we going to do? The other population is I do a lot of work with couples.
Oh, really?
I love
Bless you.
I do. What they say on Color Purple, Lord knows I do. But my biggest struggle with couples is I'm a lover girl. I love
Mhm.
love. And these people come in and I just want them to win and I want the relationship to work. Um, and sometimes I've had to catch myself and I will say to them, I feel like I want your marriage to work more than you do, and I need to fall back, you
Yes.
know. And as a therapist doing marriage counseling, it's not my job to make their relationship work.
Mhm.
It's my job to help them put everything on the table and figure out how it can work if you want it to.
If you
But
want it.
sometimes you see people, you like, come on, y'all. Let's how can we, but if it's not to be, and if one person is not,
Mhm.
willing to do what it takes to make it work, then I can't be the one to make that happen. So those would be my two struggles. Like, can you just
Yeah.
get it together?
Lord, just want to shake you.
Right.
And
I got
I
extra yoga session when I
yes,
leave that day.
I'm so glad that you have something that, for you, an outlet for you, because it is tough carrying other people's stuff. I remember when I was in grad school at Howard University, and I worked a lot with drug dependent women, youth, and just people uh, uh, who use drugs, and they are special.
Yeah,
They are special.
a very special population.
Yeah, part of their denial and all of that is a part of the pathology. And it's like, I
Yes.
just used to tell people, even back then, I used to say, go back out there and do the research, go do the research and come back when you're ready. You
Yeah.
don't, yeah, yeah, don't fool yourself because you're not fooling me. You're not
Yeah.
fooling me. If you want to go smoke crack, do what, just go continue to do the research. out there, and then come back and bring the data. And then when you're ready, it's all about when you're ready. You cannot fool anyone except yourself.
Yep.
I
Yep.
stand by that one.
It's
Uh,
it's heart work. HEART and HARD.
that's so funny because I was just, I'm always interviewing someone that in our field or whatever, but that's going to help people with resources that'll help people. And they said the same thing. This is heart work.
Yeah.
Heart. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. This is not for money, people. It
No.
is for love.
We take losses all the time.
Yes, we take losses all the time. What is the one red flag that you can tell someone if they cannot afford this book, right? It's one red flag
One
that you want men to know in a relationship. It doesn't even matter, women or men. What's the one red flag that we should definitely pay attention to?
if a person cannot accept and honor something that is good for you, that is not detrimental to anyone else, they are a red flag. Because anyone who loves you, who cares about you and your well being, they're going to be receptive and supportive of you doing anything that's good for you. They're not going to stand in the way of that. And they're going to fit into that mold. But if they don't, and they discourage you and put up roadblocks and don't want to see you win, they're not for you. Everyone cannot be on your healing journey. A part of going through that journey is understanding that along the way, there might be some people that have to leave because
Mhm.
we're just not moving in the same direction.
Wow. Wow. That's really good. I know that's a hard one, being able to disconnect and let
Yeah.
go of that control, but just trusting more, trusting ourselves, trusting the process, the
Mm-hmm.
universal overall process, because you do have a purpose here. There's a reason why your soul came to earth. And so we want to make sure we understand, we connect with that. So, well, good, 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 good. Well, I'm just glad you came to hang out with me today. It was so wonderful. I've just been following you. And when I do and I'm able to, I am laughing, but I am also like, this is really helpful. It's been very thought provoking for me, and it was interesting for me. So it just made me want to reach out to you and say, come on, let's talk about what you do. And you are licensed across 4 states. How in the world? What are you doing?
Well, I'm in Memphis. So Memphis is in West Tennessee, and we're in a tri-state area.
Ah,
So within 10 minutes, I'm in Mississippi. Within 10 minutes, I'm in Arkansas. So it just made sense.
yes.
And for a while, I was actually physically working in Arkansas. So I had to get my license there. Then when I came back to Tennessee to work, I was like, I'm playing. Let me go ahead and get Mississippi. Now, Texas that's a whole story. That was not intentional,
It
but I
wasn't.
like it was to do work with a partner of mine. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go get my license in Texas. And once I got it, I was like, well, I might as well maintain it. But I'm hoping that this social work compact thing does what it needs to do so that we can work across the US, period.
What social work compact? I
So
think one of
there
my colleagues, I think vaguely I heard something about it.
Yeah, so there's this big push for the social work compact, which would allow us basically to do whatever requirements we would need to do that would allow us to be licensed in all of the states versus, every state has something different. We have to take
Yes.
a test for every state, but some states like Texas, I had to take two different tests, and the reciprocity is different. But if the social
Mhm.
work compact happens, then it's all going to be very similar, and you can work wherever, which is helpful too. Because I've had clients to move, and they are like in puddles because
Wow.
we don't want to break up. And I'm like, well, we got to break up because I'm not licensed in your state. Let me help you find someone there. But it would help a lot with continuity. It would help with those of us who work with college students,
Mhm.
because if I have a student who they basically live here, but they go to school in DC, technically that's their residence, and I can't service you there as a therapist. I'm not licensed there. So
Mhm. Well, I am happy for the profession. I really am because this is what we call removing barriers to service. Folks.
absolutely.
This
Absolutely.
is exactly why we're removing barriers. There should be no barriers for people to get support. And
Yeah.
if you know, I mean, I've been in therapy for a long time. I'm not anymore because I have healed I'm healing, in a different way. But God
Mhm.
knows I've been in therapy. And one thing that you don't like to do is switch.
Yeah. You have to, and I get it because I've done therapy before with more than one therapist. It's like, and hear my clients say this, you have to tell your story all over again. And depending on what settings that you've been in therapy, like I did
It's
community,
re-traumatization.
it can be very re-traumatizing. So, and then, as you mentioned too, like access to services, decreasing those barriers. I've serviced a lot of individuals in the Arkansas area,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are in the LGBTQ community,
Yes.
and they all seem to be saying something along the same lines of they don't have an excess. I won't say there aren't any there. They don't have an excess of LGBTQ friendly, um, and open therapists. So,
Mhm.
they find me, and before I know, before I knew it, I was like, "How y'all know? Wait a minute."
Cause they know safe.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need safe spaces for everyone. There
yeah,
should be support and services for every human soul that is on this earth. There
yeah,
should be no separation between, who deserves it, who has access to it.
yeah.
Yes, so I like the way we are moving, towards access for all.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
all I see. So, well, okay. I'm so glad that you came here today. I ask every guest that comes here, what are you most excited about in life right now?
Let me see. That is tough. I am excited to watch my kids and their journey in life. My son is in school to be an engineer, so I'm like, oh yes, he gonna be able to take care of himself and any family that he creates. And my daughter is, oh, she's amazing and exceptional. Both of my kids are amazing and exceptional. She is still a minor, and so I'm excited to see her grow and flourish and become a young woman. For myself personally, I am excited about the journey my husband and I are taking. Always looking to strengthen our relationship, and I I'm enjoying watching him on a new journey for himself with books and the different interests that he has. And then I have a conference coming up. Well, it's not my conference. I am going to be a keynote speaker at a conference very soon, and I'm excited about it. It's like my favorite topic ever.
Good.
It's gonna be pretty major, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get my hair done.
Is
I got
it there in your state?
Yes, it's gonna be for Lakeside.
So it's not virtual.
No, it's gonna be in
Okay.
person. It's a CEU opportunity. Lakeside is a pretty big mental health facility here that offers all levels of service. And so once
Mhm.
a year, they do a conference to allow 500 or more plus individuals to come and get CEUs. And I'm going to be a speaker at the one
Ah,
in the fall. So
yes.
I'm, ex-
Yes.
I'm
You
excited.
should be excited. I'm excited for you. I feel all of your excitement. And
Thank
I just,
you.
yes, I send you all types of good vibes for that conference. It's going to be beautiful for everyone. Yes, you are going to touch some hearts. You're going to give people CEUs. You're going to give people the opportunity to say, I can do it. You're going to empower people. I can feel all of it because I feel so empowered and inspired by you. I really do. And I'm so
Thank
grateful
you.
that you came here today. I really honor you. I thank you so much. Yes.
Thank
And you
you.
are welcome back here anytime, Doc, for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, you are welcome. You're welcome. Well, you know what? This is the Fear to Freedom Project. And I am Deborah, your host, and this is our special guest, Dr. NaRicia Futrell. And we are signing out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a comment. How does this information resonate with you? Are you sure about your red flags? Are you paying attention to red flags or are you ignoring them? All right. We love you so much. Peace and love.